Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to Tint Free. I am Tyler Christian, aka Tyler Zorro, and here on Tint Free, we like to shed light on any and all things that go on God's green earth, happens under His beautiful sun. We like to shed light on anything. It doesn't matter if it's personal, deep, taboo, inappropriate, non-Christian like. We try to hit everything. Just like that. We like to have those important conversations. But it's those casual conversations. We just hanging and chilling, just being ourselves. I'm Tyler Christian, aka Tyler Zorro. Not sure if I said it or not just now. Anyways, we won't keep it moving. I'm very much winging this in case you haven't noticed. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching the video version, which is on YouTube, Tyler Zorro, that's my profile. That's my channel. If you want to check that out, subscribe, like this video as well. And just so you know, this is available on all major platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Amazon. So if you want to listen to it in the car, you're taking the drive or you're working out, you can listen to it here, or just pull up the video version if you want to watch it or get some work done and just chill. Either way, if you can, please go to Apple, look up this podcast and rate it 5 stars. That would really greatly help me, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you do, let's get into the show. Like I said, I'm very much winging it. I actually spent the past hour struggling to get this set up. I had some technical difficulties, but now we're getting it moving. It feels like every week I'm just learning something new about how to maintain all this stuff. A bit of a struggle, but it's pretty pretty relieving to actually figure this stuff out. To know how to set up the camera and work the software and things like that. I think I'm learning things as I go. First topic I want to hit on, Juneteenth. In case you don't know what Juneteenth is, it is June 19th, and it is a day of remembrance of the ending of slavery. I believe it began in Texas. I cannot say for sure, but that much I know. And it's very important to Black Americans, African Americans, because it was very important to our ancestors. So, now it's been recognized as a national federal holiday, which means that, from now on, on a calendar, this is one of our major U.S. holidays. So it's pretty big, very, very important. I actually got off work for it, which, I'm grateful for. But, whether or not it was federal or not, like Juneteenth is just it's a day of remembrance and appreciation. So it's a very important day. But as we know, anything good that happens is always going to come with the con. There's always something that's going to be an issue or a concern. And so I saw a couple different things on the web, on the internet, and one of the biggest things is how it's going to be marketed. Because yes, even a special holiday such as this is going to be used to help bring money for certain companies and things like that. It's another major holiday. So it's another July 4th, another Thanksgiving, Christmas. It's recognized. People get off work. People get off school for it. So imagine how companies will have special deals and selling events, things like that for Christmas or New Year's or something like that. People are probably gonna try to do the same thing with Juneteenth, and of course, every company's trying to make money, and this is potentially another day for them to make some money. But I hope that a lot of people understand when the Black community would appreciate if that didn't happen, because like I said, it's a day of remembrance. It's not another day to make some extra money off of. It's important to us, and it would be very respectful if people didn't try to profit off of it. Like that statement alone of trying to profit off of something that's important to Black people. That's if you if you're as socially aware as I am, you know exactly how problematic that sounds. People have always been trying to profit off of Black people. People still profit off of Black people, whether it's slavery, the prison system, it's everywhere. So we would just like another day, just for it to be for us and for us to have our privacy or our respect. And it would be great if people didn't try to make money off something that's very important to us. That's all I have to say on it. I don't really spend a lot of time on social media looking at different things. I'm pretty sure I know that there are other feelings people have, but that's those are my feelings for the most part. Um, I just wanted to hit on that real quick. Also, today is Father's Day. It is June 20th as I'm recording this. It's probably gonna be a couple days before this comes out, but to everyone who is a father, uh, or a cousin or uncle, big brother, just all those important father figures, those male figures in your life, like happy Father's Day to them. This is my second Father's Day, so I'm actually trying to hurry up and finish this so I can go spend time with the family. But yeah, very grateful for my family, my father and grandfather. Um, but yeah, for everybody else, yeah, I hope y'all enjoy your time with your family. Please do. Very important. Things like that. Before I move on, please remember to make sure you have eaten and that you have some water with you. I have my water on my at my hand on my water bottle right now. Um, I'm pretty sure I had to buy a new one, but yeah, never mind. Anyways, yeah. Make sure you got what you need, snacks, water, whatever you need. But yeah, we're gonna move on to some other things in this podcast. I got some Father's Day text. That's funny. It's just funny because like that's forever now. I'm always gonna get these texts, so I'm very appreciative. Yeah. I guess something I wanted to share is that I've been watching some some throwback shows, some of the classics when I was a child, or just classics in general. I be using other people's HBO Maxes and Paramount accounts. I'm not gonna share who, but I found time to watch The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and we can all agree that that's automatically a classic, right? Like that show is good, and I don't think I've ever watched the first episode or like a couple of those first episodes in the first season. So I've been taking advantage of that, and I really do. Well, that show is great. That show is really good. Um, Even it being what 30 years old now, 30 some years old. Will Smith got gray hairs now. That's crazy, but it's a really good show, and I really appreciate it. I've also been watching Teen Titans because that was really big when I was a kid. That show is just really that show is really good. I'm sure a lot of people will agree, but it's a really good show. It hits some different topics and things that I really enjoy that I appreciate nowadays. Kind of just like understanding Raven's character a lot more. There's the episode where Robin, he may or may not be hallucinating from seeing Slade around the Titan Tower. That episode is really crazy, and just low key the things that hits on that like I didn't understand as a kid, but I understand now is really crazy. Uh, so like I would suggest this week, kind of tuning in with the old TV show that you watched growing up. If it's worth it. I think it's good to just go back and look at things and kind of just have your adult or your more older perspective look back at it and like, damn, like I get that a whole lot better now. So I think it's worth it. Um, let's see what else is popping right now. Um, I'm sorry, I have no idea. Um, I did post a question, or I asked my Instagram if anybody had any questions. In case you don't follow me on Instagram, it's right here at the bottom of the screen at Tyler Christian Evans. Probably gonna change that soon. But for now, that's what it is. Let me pull up the question. The question was specifically, it's not even really a question. It was really just like topics to hit on. Um, Pretty much just asking about it. Somebody wanted me to talk about my relationships. Um, Now it was pretty broad. It really just said relationships, and that was really it. Um, and I could definitely talk on that a little bit, especially because this past year has been pretty tough socially for me. With COVID being locked down all the time, not really having opportunities to really talk to people unless it was through text or FaceTimes here and there. And not to mention just like, just like personal interactions with people in my life, those deeper or more, um I guess like those more I don't know how you say it. There was some relationships with other people that were kind of bothersome this past year. And that I've either worked through or I'm still working through. Either way, it's a pretty big part of life. So I would definitely try to touch on it as best I can. Bobby Melu asked this question, so shout out to you, Bobby. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna start by just talking about how I felt about just relationships in general this past year, because like I said, I feel like I mentioned it before that I've just been very isolated this past year. Um, part of that was definitely COVID. Another part of that was just adjusting to fatherhood, and just adjusting to all those changes as well. Um, and then even before those came around, it was just personal relationships with people that I was constantly around all the time. Sometimes you get around people for a long time, you start to kind of, your relationships definitely like start to get more, not necessarily complicated, but just more I'm not sure the word, but pretty much just like you either get like really cool with people, or you really just start to get irritated by them, or you just start to look at things differently because of how life changes. So like one of those things that like still bothers me is, of course, that just transition from college into adulthood, just because of how like drastic the switch was for me, and the fact that I'm kind of trying to figure life out just like in general, because it went from kind of just having like structure all the time to, now I work, and now it's just like, what do I do with my free time? What do I do when I'm not working, while I'm not being a father? What happens now? Like, what do I do in terms of how I interact with people? Like, do I hang out with them the same way that we used to? uh and I started getting introspective, like, was that person like really like as cool with me as I thought they were? Like, were we actually good friends, or like, or what? And it's kind of just like being mature about it, and like kind of just like starting to kind of just take things as they are and move on from it. uh like, not everything's negative, but like, sometimes there are people who I'm just like, I'm not going to talk to again, and it's not like no hatred of them, like no dislike. It's kind of just like how life goes and whatnot. But I've definitely had like my share of difficult relationships in the past. You know, I I always think about this, and like I don't really have like the complete understanding for it. But what is the why is there just so much pressure and so much just I'm so sorry that I can't like formulate my words right now. When it comes to romantic relationships, there's so much emphasis on those in life. I feel like growing up, like it was always a thing to be in love, to be in a relationship. And I feel like that like asphyxiation that people have, that society has, can be pretty dangerous if it's not like explored correctly. Because it's like they're okay. So there are romance movies, right? There are rom coms, there are dramatic romantic movies, right? But then you also have action movies, cartoons, and things like that. And even in those, love or being in a relationship will come up just like easy as I don't know what. Teen Titans is a superhero fighting show, but love is an aspect. Is an aspect in that. Romantic relationships is the aspect in that. Dating, boyfriend, girlfriend, that type of stuff. And I don't really get what the expectation is, that like, even like when like, like a popular TV show is on right now, right? Or there are two celebrities who hang out, and it's always just like, oh, there are people who like, oh, I stand them, or like, yo, like, I hope they get together, or like, like that babies would be so cute. And it's just like, I've never really understood that, like why people kind of like always just like they want to see love so much, like they like love is just the most important thing, it seems like sometimes, and like I don't really get it. And I feel like that kind of mindset gets put on a lot of people, and even kids. And I feel like that was something that kind of like got to me when I was younger. It's just like, oh, I gotta be in love at some point. And it's just like it's kind of dangerous for that to be like a such a like specific aspect. I don't really know how I'm formulating it, but like romantic relationships are just like one of the biggest, most dramatic, most emotional, and sometimes in the end devastating traumatic relationships you can have throughout your lifetime. Um, because you put so much effort and care into somebody who is not your family, not your blood, so you didn't grow up with them. So there's not like this kind of like, oh, like we're connected no matter what type of thing. So this is somebody who's a complete stranger to you at first, who becomes the most important thing to you at some point, according to love standards and whatnot, right? And it's just insane to me how that comes about. And this is just me, like, and like I said, this is me, like, in retrospect, looking back on relationships and things like that, of how important like those relationships were made, and how like now it's kind of just like a lot of those relationships are cut. Like I don't talk to those people anymore that I was romantically involved with, and it's kind of just like, damn, like I really put a lot of effort into that. So, in saying that, at the same time, those relationships teach you a lot because, like I said, they the most emotional and sometimes traumatic, and sometimes the most like it takes so much out of you to the point where you kind of just you build up if things go. I'm trying to say relationships will teach you a lot of things about yourself, and you kind of have to go through those types of things growing up in order for you to kind of figure out yourself. And I think romantic relationships do that a lot for people. But I also think people just put too much emphasis or it's too much like attention on romantic relationships. I'm in a different headspace nowadays where my main mindset is of course trying to be a family man. Like those relationships I'm trying to focus on the most. Like trying to be a father, a brother, a son. Like those relationships that I focus on the most right now, more than romantic relationships. And maybe it just came about because because like throughout school it's kind of just like I'm around people all the time. Like I got homeboys and then they're attractive girls, and it's just like now it's kind of just like it's just family, and money's a concern. So like my mind is literally to like working and helping out the family. So in that being said, because I know I did not answer that question at all, those are just like my thoughts on it. That's just a big question. You guys tell me what you got. Like, tell me what you think in the comments, or DM me how you feel about it. Those are just like some things that I have in mind. But yeah, looking back at a lot of my relationships, like I said, like you learn a lot about yourself. I learned that I can be too unselfish. Like me personally, I can be too unselfish. Um, like I will like sometimes I'm just like not willing to like stand up for myself in certain situations. Like I've had a lot of situations before, especially with some high school relationships where like I kind of just I didn't take into account my feelings. I always took into account the significant other in that situation, and it hurt me the most in the end. Of course, because I'm the one who has to live with those feelings afterwards. Like I saw how I didn't treat myself with respect, and how I kind of just let the other person's emotions, like just control everything that I do. And that would lead into think problems that I had with other people around me. Like one situation I'll touch on really quick is I think when it came to like kind of like growing up and whatnot, high school, sophomore to junior year was like like that was the time where I kind of like I don't know how you say it, I opened my eyes. I'm sure other people will be able to like corroborate that. But like there's like a certain time in like your teenage years or your adult years where you kind of just like there's like this switch is made where you kind of just realize, hey y'all, like I'm really not a kid anymore. Like things are like about to get serious. I'm gonna have to like learn a lot of different things. And like there was this time during sophomore year where I started dating this girl. Um and this was like my first like actual committed relationship, because everything before that was kind of just like uh it was like very very like childish, of course, but like it's just like, oh, we just say we're boyfriend and girlfriend for the fun of it. But like no, this is like a year-long relationship that was very personal, emotional, and it was very very, very toiling. Uh, it was a lot. And there was a situation where I want to say it was like a couple months in, and the girl I was dating didn't like my female best friend. And me and my female best friend were actually very good friends. We actually, like, a lot of people will disbelieve things like that, but we were actually very good friends. Like, there was never anything romantic between us. And for some reason they just didn't like each other. And like my female friend came first. Like, she, like, me and her hung out all the time, and like we was just cool like that. We were always cool since like the first day that we met for like freshman year, right? So I started dating this other girl, and all of a sudden I'm torn between the both of them in a sense. You know, girlfriend doesn't want me hanging out with my best friend. My best friend wants me to, like, treat myself better, and not let my girlfriend kind of like run over me and whatnot. And it got to the point where, again, we value romantic relationships so much that I didn't understand that, like, just because I'm dating somebody does not mean that they have to get everything, all my love and attention. I have to show that attention to my friends, especially my family who was there before this stranger came into my life, you know? But as a kid, I put so much emphasis on that I started to shut out friends. I started to shut out family. And this is just sophomore year me. Like, this isn't me like actually thinking about the actual consequences of it. It was just like, oh, like, this is my girlfriend, so like she's gonna get everything, all my love and attention, right? And it came a point. There's this time, like this 1 week in high school, sophomore year, that was the most changing for me. And some people in my high school will probably remember like that week, because it was kind of just like every day was something new happening, right? Just that one specific week. Um, and beginning of the week, my girlfriend didn't. I can't remember what we talked about. Um, but we something scared her to the point where like she didn't want to be with me anymore. And I was concerned because I was just like, yo, like, what the hell? Like, I don't get it. Um, and pretty much throughout that week, it was just this very difficult love triangle, love square, as a matter of fact, because there was another person involved, like my girl best friend's boyfriend, who was also like my homeboy, who was like my so like I was friends with the both of them. My girl best friend and my homie, like they dated, but I was close with both of them. So I was actually pulled in three different directions at sometimes. But they used to date. They were dating before, but they had broke up. They were kind of cool. Sometimes they weren't cool. It was kind of just like one of those types of situations, right? And I was kind of just caught in this very weird triangle square thing of love. So stupid. Um, like I said, very, very life changing, but also very stupid in retrospect. Um, and yeah, I went to like this whole week of being torn between all of my very close personal relationships. And I had a very close homeboy, very close homegirl, and a very close girlfriend. And in that week, I think I lost each relationship that week. I lost each relationship that week in a way. Um, Me and my girlfriend broke up halfway through the week. Couldn't figure things out. I kind of torn between trying to, serve her, trying to actually be cool with my peoples. My homeboys mad at me because people were making up all this shit about my relationship, me wanting to make a move on my girl best friend. And it was so much turmoil. It was so silly. And in the end of the and like not to mention like my girl best friend was going through a bunch of different shit too with her personal life and just how things were going with her and her family and then like all this shit about like she was upset with me, and rightfully so. Like, she was very mad at me that week, or just in general with all that situation that was going on, because I wasn't respecting her and I wasn't respecting myself. So she had a problem with that. And by the end of that week, my girl best friend had literally moved away to a whole other state. My homeboy didn't fuck with me. I'm sorry, I'm cursing, but like I said, this is gonna be non-Christian like sometimes. Sorry. He wasn't messing with me. Me and him literally almost got into a fight at the end of that week. And when I was a kid, I was very emotional. I would cry if I got a question wrong. because I put so much confidence in that shit. My teacher would be like, "Nah, that wasn't right," but like never said like that. It was just like, "Nope, that's not right." Next person. Now I get so upset that I'll be about to cry. So I think I genuinely think that was like this is the last time I actually cried in school in front of people. This is the last time I did it. But me and my homeboy, like me and my girlfriend already kind of just like we were already just like, yo, like nah, this ain't really gonna work right now. Like this shit is not the move, right? Girl best friend had said she was gonna move away. Like I think pretty sure she had left the day before, and it's Friday at this point. Um, I know I'm probably skipping stuff. I definitely skipping stuff, but like this is definitely like I can't talk this whole thing about that entire situation. But like in retrospect, most important thing was that at the end of that week, I tried to confront my homeboy because I was just like no, I'm not losing each and every like one of my very important relationships this week, right? And like I said, he was mad at me because of the shit that other people were saying about me and my girl best friend, his ex. And Mans didn't even want to talk to me. Like he was really like, nah, like don't talk to me, don't walk to me, like I'm gonna fight you. And I was like, nah, but like I'm not letting that happen. And he legit like stepped to me, you know, we like face to face and shit. And I got so mad I walked away and I fell out. I started crying in the cafeteria with like 40 other kids watching, and it was detrimental. Like I said, like this was probably the last time I actually like screamed and cried in front of people in school, and I, you know, very emotional, and that and like afterwards, like me and my homeboy, cause like I said, this is in the middle school, so like the dean of students was right there, teachers were there, so like they saw the whole situation and they like Dean made us go talk. Made us sit and talk for like 3 or 4 hours. Like he legit like talked to us for a little bit, and he was like, "I got things to do. Y'all stay here and talk." And like we sat there, and it kind of seemed like we mended things. Like it kind of seemed like we were legit just being honest about things with each other. Like how he felt about his ex, my girl best friend, and how he saw me treating like the whole situation between the both of us, between my girl best friend and my girlfriend and things like that, and just like how he was just real with me. It was just the fact that like those rumors and shit like that came up was like not cool. Like it definitely like started like put a wedge between us, right? Um, and that was like one of the few times me and him actually spoke, because afterward, me and him pretty much like grew apart. And like it was weird because I thought we were gonna be cool because after all that conversation we had, we were legit like laughing and joking and shit like old times, right? But like I swear, like the next week, like shit just really went different. So I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if this was sophomore year. This is sophomore year, yeah. I think it was sophomore year. Pretty sure it was sophomore year. Um and yeah, like that was like one of like the last moments I really just like bawled out in school crying or some shit like that, right? I never really got in a fights like that. If I ever did get into a fight, it never got finished because people always pull us off of each other or a teacher would come, some shit like that. But like that, I don't know. I was one of those people who like I get emotional. Like I'm gonna start crying. Like I'm gonna start I'm gonna start crying because like I don't know how to handle those emotions. So it has to come out some way, right? And I don't cry now. I kind of get angry, but that's what I'm working on. But I acknowledge it now. So, anyways, so that's something that happened. So that was like one of those times where like, I kind of like really learned that like things are really about to be different now. Like I'm gonna have to like see things a lot more differently. Like having to balance a romantic relationship and best friends and things like that, or just understanding that I just wasn't doing things right. Because me and this girl dated for a year, and like this is only like 3 months into our relationship, maybe like 2 months, 2 or 3 months into our relationship. Like it was like springtime. We started dating in like the winter. Um, so it was just like this very huge situation. And it kind of makes me think heavily about like how I treated my romantic relationships, and even like furthermore like that, like this is like I said, this is my first real relationship, and we lasted for a year. Um, like we literally broke up on our anniversary. That shit is so stupid. Um, Cause like not to mention, it wasn't just like the social aspect. It wasn't just like it wasn't just like my relationship with other people and things like that. Like she had problems with her family. Looking back on it from what I remember, her family was her family was racist, or like she was just like, I never met her family. I never met her family. I'm so serious. Like after even throughout a year dating, I never met anyone in her family. The only person I met in her family was she was Hispanic, by the way. She, she was Hispanic, and the only person I met in her family was her white aunt who was married into the family because she was the only person who she felt like could handle seeing me. But she never introduced me to no one else in her family, none of the guys in her family, like nobody. And I never like really took that into account as a kid. Cause now if that's the same relationship, then like I'm not gonna date nobody who's not gonna allow me to meet that family if we're serious and shit like that, right? Especially after this shit. So throughout an entire year, never met anybody in her family. And I think I'm pretty sure like on our anniversary, like we were hanging out and we used to catch the bus all the time. So we would be downtown waiting for our buses to come. And she got on her bus. I was so we were at the same bus stop. Her bus came, she got on, she left, and she said somebody in her family was on a bus and they had seen us. And legit, like that night, she was just like, I can't risk it. I'm not trying to get in trouble with my family, this, and that. And we broke up that night. With the quickness, broke up. Um, and I was just kind of like, damn, like that was just like kind of sudden. But like, damn, we still gonna be cool, or like, or what? And like, we would like kind of hang out, kind of talk. But after like 2 weeks, it was kind of just like, nah, like it's just this is like this is just kind of stupid. Actually, no, it was when it really ended was when because this is because it had been a year. Um, so it's like the end of winter, beginning of springtime. Like we're kind of like still talking, and prom was about to come up, and she had asked me, "So you still taking me to prom, right?" And I was just like, "Nah, my mom don't like you. Like my mom is not gonna like that." My mom made it verbal multiple times. Like I said, I had problems with like I had some issues with my family too over this relationship. And my mom always felt like my mom told me like she felt like I was giving way too much time to her, but my mom tried to accept her, tried to accept the relationship. I introduced her to my mom. I introduced her to my girlfriend and my mom at the time, and yeah, like my mom tried to understand, but I was just like, nah, my mom knows we broken up. You're not coming to prom if like this is not gonna happen. And then that was like our last time talking. Like that was legit our last time talking. And this is junior year at this point. So like pretty much a whole like another year and a half went by. We like pretty much never talked for like the entire time I was in school and shit. She was a year below me, but she was the same age. Um but yeah, like so all that happened. And yeah, like I said, we never spoke and shit like that. But like I remember like a week or two after we broke up, um like I said, me and my homeboy really like the homeboy from before. Like we never really spoke like that. Any like after the whole situation, right? But like I mean, I was walking through the halls, going to a class, and they walking next to each other, like how people was in high school. Like they would like tickle each other, just mess with each other, like that's how you do when you like somebody, right? So that's what I saw. I saw them like all laughing and geeking in the hallway and shit. But like she wasn't talking to me no more, and he wasn't talking to me no more. So like and it was like me and him had like this like unspoken beef. It was kind of just like me and him just like stop hanging out. We were cool, but like we didn't really have shit to say to each other no more. So I saw them hanging out. I was just like, damn, like what? Crazy. And I kept on walking like I ain't see shit. That's how I was. That's how I handled it at the time. I just walked by like I ain't see nothing. So yeah, like that was a time where like I really kind of grew up. I was just like, yo, like nah, like this just kind of messed up. I'm just gonna have to like change how I see it. Like that was that moment where I kind of really like acknowledged I had to like change how I was looking at my relationships and shit in life. So um yeah, and so that's one really big aspect of my relationships throughout my life so far. Like I'm only 24, 23. I turned 24 this year. And yeah, like that was just one of the like biggest like challenges that I've ever had throughout my life. Um, like, damn, I hit some points I did not think I was gonna ever go for at least for a while. Like I thought I would do like a whole story time about this stuff, like on like a just a vlog or some shit. But like, you know, I didn't think I would hit those topics just now, but yeah, like that was one of those moments that kind of like taught me a lot about relationships and things like that. And shit. So, yo, I'm kind of sweating. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm kind of sweating. Um, but yeah, like that was just one of those major, very major moments in my life. For relationships, for social, like friendships and things like that, like in general. Like because of all the things that happened that week, I lost my homeboy and I lost my girl best friend. And I am pretty much and it wasn't even like me and my girl best friend, like it was kind of bad when she had left. But we'd actually talked sometime afterwards. We were actually cool. But it's also just one of those relationships where like, like we just don't talk no more. Like I don't see her no more. I'm not in school. We're not in the same school no more. She was literally in a whole different state. And so like we just don't have a relationship no more. So like I talk to none of those people nowadays. And it's just like all that effort for what? For we did not talk to these people in the end? Like that's pretty crazy, but that's kind of just how shit goes. Because even in recency, even my relationships throughout college and things like that, like there are people who I put a lot of effort into, and now I don't talk to them at all. And it's kind of just how shit goes, Like it still, but like confuses me how like we put so much into these relationships just for them to not really be there in the end. Like it's kind of crazy. But those are some of my relationships. That's one big major part of our relationship. I can talk more about this stuff in the future, but I can't hit on every single one. Like the question was so broad, like I can't really touch on every single relationship. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure you asked about you asked about cheating and heartbreak. Hey, that was one big heartbreak for me, my boy. Like for real, like that hurt. Like that was like first like true like heartbreak or just like this awkward this phase of like because it wasn't like we just broke up and it was that like that was it. Like, we broke up, still talked, and then I kind of realized things, and then I told her about not going to prom. My mom wasn't going like that. Her seeing her like my homeboy, and it was just like yo, like damn, like that was true heartbreak. Like I remember like that whole freshman sophomore and then that half of junior year. I was still pretty social. I still had friends and things like that. Even though when I was dating that girl, I kind of like started to like shed some shade myself away from other people and shit like that. Because like she was pretty possessive, I was pretty possessive. Like it was a toxic relationship, like no doubt. Like it wasn't one side. It wasn't like she was controlling things. It was legit. Like she was almost like I don't know how to say it. She was persuasive enough. Me on the other hand, it was just certain things I didn't like that I kind of like just I would acknowledge and things like that. But like it was toxic either way, right? But but yeah, like before then, like I was very social. I actually talked to a lot of people. I was a confident person. I was a semi-confident kid. Like I was always a nervous kid, but like that time made me very nervous. So, like I said, I stopped talking to a lot of people, things like that. Had fallouts with other people. And after all that shit happened, after that year of her dating and losing both my best friends, I became very isolated throughout the rest of high school. Like I legit would walk through the halls and people would tell me, or like my homegirl, like I said, my homegirl, who like after all that shit happened, like it had been like a year after, it had been like a while after, and me and her finally like caught up with each other again. And she told me like, yeah, like people at school were like telling me that like you walk around like you're moping, like you just don't like anybody no more. Like it looks like you really went through some shit and it's showing on your face. I was like, I mean, shit, like for real, that was the truth of it. Like I was really going through a lot of shit. Like I didn't like people anymore. I did like that was the moment that I was just like, yo, I can't wait to get the fuck out of high school. Like I can't wait to go to college because I'm not trying to see none of these people no more. I don't want to be dealing with people in this neighborhood. It was just like I was just tired of all that stuff. So like that was the honest truth of it. Um but yeah, like that was like I said, like that was just one aspect of my romantic life or just my relationships in general. Um, I can definitely speak on more, but I can't just I don't want it to always be broad. Like I need like something specific. But like that was like the major thing. Yeah. Like I said, I had there other relationships and things like that, but I can't talk on it right now. I can't get that emotional all at once. But yeah, that's really it. Yeah, I got plenty of stories, y'all. I want y'all to know. I got things I could definitely talk on, but That's all I got for now and for that question. That's actually all the questions I have. And honestly, I do have to get going. This recording is 40 minutes. Honestly, I'm trying to keep these relatively short, like 4 podcasts or something like that. Like, the podcasts I listen to are usually like 50 minutes, like an hour and 15. I'm trying to keep these short because, one, I don't have a lot of stuff to talk about all the time. I'm not the easiest speaker. I'm not the most comfortable to just be like talking the entire time. I definitely can't run this by myself for a whole hour. Also, I know some of y'all got short attention spans, or some of y'all just don't care enough, so y'all not for listening to the whole thing, which is fine. You can still go rate it 5 stars on Apple, though, because that I would really appreciate. Even if you don't listen to it, it's fine. But I'm trying to keep it relatively short for the people who look. I'll be honest. There's some people. They're like, I can't listen to everybody else's podcast. There are other people who probably do the same thing as me, who I'm cool with. But like, I can't listen to that stuff the entire time either. It's like, it's totally fine. I feel like I'm just exposing myself here. It's like, if you like this, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're listening to this anywhere else, remember just to go to Apple and like and give it 5 stars. That I very much appreciate. But yeah, I'm trying to make these, kind of like short and sweet and entertaining. So, but for now, this is all I got. I'm about to go record another video, and then I'm going to go link up with the family. Like, again, it's Father's Day, man. Enjoy time with your family. Hope you all are enjoying your Juneteenth weekend. And yeah, until next time, again, I'm Tyler Christian, aka Tyler Zorro. This has been Tint Free. I hope I was able to shed some light on something interesting for you. And until next time, peace and love. I appreciate you. Bye.